I am so happy to bring you a brand new collection from hot off the press. It's called Windflowers, and I will tell you that Teresa has had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to show you what she's done. So please, come play with us. Well, before we get into Teresa's projects, I just want to walk you through the whole collection. Now, I have done a product video, and you can see it on every single one of these products when you go to paperwishes.com. Now, Windflowers is also known as anemone. That's the name of the flowers, but they're also called windflowers. And here on the West Coast, I think of anemones as sea anemones. So I really was happy to hear the word windflowers, and I can just see them spinning in the wind. The 12 by 12 papers actually are cardstock, double-sided, and there are 38 cutouts included. Now to coordinate, there is the solid color cardstock. And what's different about this is that on the back, okay, so you see this dark teal. On the back, it's a light teal. Same thing with every single one of them. Now that allows us to bring you more shades of colors in the same package. And it's just a really great way of working. And by the way, Teresa's the one who suggested that. So you can see how that goes. And that's going to come in very handy with all of these beautiful windflowers. Now we also have die cuts, 31 die cuts with coordinating designs to work perfectly with the papers. We do have them in 6 by 6. You're going to get 24 sheets with 76 cutouts, just beautiful. And we have chipboard. There are 14 pieces, and I'll show you a couple ways that you can use that. And then finally, we have the windflower die cuts. There are 15 pieces, 3 different sizes of the windflowers and leaves and stems all in one package. Now, before we get started into the cards that Teresa's done, I do want to share with you a scrapbook page, and this is on the packaging of the 12 by 12 papers. And as you can see, this is the marriage and then a later anniversary. This is some of the cutouts that come. And Debbie did this, and she cut out some of the flowers from one of the background papers. So just beautiful. You can see how nicely it goes. Okay, let's see what Teresa has done. And we'll start with this. And we'll get in a bit closer just so we can see. Now she has started with the 12 by 12 papers, and let me show you what she used for the front is right here. And you can see the flowers. It's a shorter piece right here. This is on her slim line card, and this measures 3.5 by 8.5. And you can see that she cut the paper so that the card itself is the mat, and that's a technique that Teresa uses very often. So you can see how that flower is matching, and that's going to be a cut. And you can see you're going to have a lot left. And of course, the back side, you've got even more. Now, in this case, she has cut her paper. And by the way, the directions are down below. Just click on this card and you'll see the complete directions. Teresa does that for us. And then she wrapped this in the purple ribbon. Isn't that pretty? She used the organdy and wrapped that and then glued that to the front of her card. Now, this is out of the cutouts. There are, as I said, let me see, there are 38 cutouts in the sheet. You get 2 each of these, and you can see the thinking of you is right here. We've already matted it for you. We've made the cutout super simple to cut out, so that helps. And that is the piece that's here. She did mat it on white and glued it a little bit higher on her card. The flowers, these are a new set from our friends at 49 and Market called White Heron, and simply glued that with some leaves onto the card front. On the inside, she's used a different paper, and it is this one. And you can see it actually kind of appears like this, but if you turn it over, as our clever Teresa did, she cut it right here to go on the inside of her card, just wanting to have that a lighter version. And then again, more of the cutouts are overlapped. A little bit more of the ribbon has been glued behind this foam tape piece and just makes a really simple, lovely card. So that's our beginning. Now let's move on. And this card is one that Teresa created using the solid colored cardstock. Isn't this fun? Let me open it up for you. There we go. And like that. Okay. So she began with the solid cardstock, as I said. In fact, here is the sheet. And Teresa also has for us a piece of just a sample. So this is going to be a 12-inch by 6-inch piece of the Windflowers cardstock. Lay it out horizontally like this, and then measure 4 1/4 inches and then 8 1/2 inches and score it. Now, Teresa did want me to remind you that she finds the scoreboard a really useful tool. You've got the bone folder right there. You can place your paper and you can score it to size, and it just makes a really clean, crisp line there for you. Or you can do it with a ruler and bone folder, whatever you like. So those 2 score lines, and then this is going to fold like this and like this. Then she took our circle cutting dies, and in this case she used this, not the smallest, but next to the smallest solid circle, and measured 1 inch down from the top of this side flap, and simply placed it there and ran it through die cutting machine. So you can just do that to make that window. Then we're going to go into the papers to start attaching them. And as a matter of fact, if you wanted to, might be a good idea to use the paper down first to glue it down. So let's start with the 6 by 6 papers in this case. So this is the sheet that Teresa used, and I hope you like seeing the individual sheets rather than my just saying that she used a sheet. I think it's just helpful to actually see what it looks like before she does her magic with it. So she did glue it down. Then you can do the die cutting. That makes perfect sense. Okay, so that's on this one. And then you see that little scallop. Well, you can cut that out of the solid cardstock also. Just makes a nice rim around that opening. The happy birthday, that is a cutout from the 6 by 6 pad. And there it is. And so that finishes the front of your card. Now let's go here and go to our second paper, and it is this one. And that's what happens with the Windflower. In fact, it happens with most of our paper collections, is that you're going to get a wide variety of backgrounds. So you can see here we've got a pink, we've got a green, and then for the one on the inside, we have a blue. So you get the whole variety. In fact, there's even more. So that's fun to see. Now this piece is going to get trimmed to fit on the inside of our card, like so. But let me show you what else Teresa has done. So let me take this into the our cutting dies, and here they are. And I just want to talk a little bit about the Windflowers. Now the Windflowers are 2 layers of die cuts. So you can see that there's a solid one, and then there's another one that has some score lines in it, just to give those petals a bit of a lift. And we find that looking at the actual Windflowers, you want to layer them and offset them. So that's going to give you a look like this. But there are a couple of other things going on. One thing is that Teresa always uses the ink pad to color the outside edge of her die cuts. Now this is Damson wine. It was used on the purple. And as you know, you simply, well, let me see. Let me give you a brief little demo. Looking for a piece of paper here. Let's use this envelope that's sitting here. This doesn't look very professional, but bear with me. So here is the one that is scored. So I'm going to place it here, going to open up the Damson wine, and just ink from the outside edge, just to make those edges darker. And that way you're going to get just a shadow on those outside edges, and it's just very simple to do like that. Okay, now something else that Teresa does is she takes a bone folder, and in this case, she's going to lift up the petals. So just go like this, just kind of like you would ribbon. That's all it takes. No big deal. A very quick little flick with each of the petals. And then when she has this, she does the exact same process with the backing piece. And you'll notice it has irregular shapes. Well, that's part of the windflowers, and you want to offset those when you glue them together, because that is going to give the fullness of the flower. You see how flat that looks without doing that bit of a lift? Well, that's a nice little trick to have. It also looks good by putting that ink on the edges of the petals. It just makes it look more realistic and very, very nice. So you simply attach them like so. Now, there is another couple of layers, and let me show you if I can lift them up here. And I'm going to bring them in and use that bit of envelope. Okay, now when you die cut out the flower, the top flower, you're going to have a hole left. You may want to keep that. You'll also have these, which is kind of the stamens on the inside of the flowers. Now, if you like, you can give some dimension to them. Now, this is the flower molding tools that we have from our friends at Crafter's Companion. And you can take this and just rub like so, and it's going to lift up those little pieces. So you can use that to go on the inside of your flower. If you want to have that circle that is a color to go on top, you can certainly do that. Teresa did something else. She layered 2 sizes of those pieces. Now, as I said, you get 3 complete flowers. So there's the small one, the big one, and then the medium one. So you get that irregular base, the one with the score lines, and then you also get the centerpiece. So you get 3 different sizes of everything, and you can layer them together. That's what Teresa's done here. So you get just a lot of dimension in these flowers, and a lot of color if you're adding the ink. Now let's go back to our card. And so that's what Teresa's done on the flower. Obviously, it's going to fit in that circle. And then the leaves that are there, that just goes around the flower just to finish it. Here is one of the die cuts, and that is, I think it's really fun to do this. So you get a nice long piece of this, but Teresa opted to just trim it. And then she used the dazzles. This is the card inside outside to say celebrate. So that's used there in white. And then on the inside of her card, she has cut another piece right there, added another flower, a little bit flatter. This is a medium-sized one. And then she also added more of the inside-outside dazzles. So it reads, celebrate, may all your wishes come true. How pretty is that? Really nice. And so you've got all the techniques of using the flowers right in this one. So let's move on to show you her next. And this is using a cutting die. And so let me bring it. This is the Sidestep card, as you can probably tell. Back, you can see it right there. It's a really nice close-up shot to it. Thank you, Houston. Here is the Sidestep card cutting die, a very, very useful cutting die. There are so many of them that are just, you can use again and again and again, which is the whole idea. And look what's going on in this beautifully. This is the purple. So we saw the pink, the blue, and the green. Now we've got the purple. And this is also combined with the With Love wreath cutting die. This is an older one, but such a versatile. Now you can see that this has a rose, But Teresa elected to, of course, put the windflowers there, but she's got that wreath, which is so pretty. And because we've got all the colors of the solid cardstock, she's got a lot to play with. So that has gone there. Now let me just show you what that Sidestep card looks like. So when you die cut it out, you have this piece with all of the score lines and then also this center slice. And what you do, in fact, the directions are on the back of the package. It tells you step by step how to fold these. But just in case, the one in the middle is always going to be a mountain fold. Looks like that. Then you start here and do an accordion. So you do a mountain, a valley, a mountain, a valley, and you end with a mountain. So just like that. You do want to use a bone folder to secure those down so that they are going to stay nice and secure as you finish your card. If you want your Sidestep to go the other way, just reverse it and fold it going the opposite way, and that will work perfectly. So there you go. Now Teresa has cut her papers to fit inside that die cut shape. So this is a download for you, and I think we'll also put this on the Sidestep card cutting die at Paper Wishes. So these are what you're going to trim, and Teresa has used this paper on the front of her card, and you can see how that's going to go right there. And it allows there to be extra flowers underneath the ones that she's done with the cutting die. So really pretty. Now, for these side steps, she has used this paper, and you can see that it has the light pink. So this step, let's see, there you go. Can you see that? That's going to be the lower area of the paper. And then this one is going to be just above it. So it's going to go right there. And those will just fit right in. Now, to decorate her card, even more than what she's already done with the die cuts, she has used the dazzles. And this is the fancy border dazzles. And you can see that these come in colors. And so the piece there, in fact, there's two right there, and there's one right there. They just add a really nice touch, and as you can see, and these are the glitter fancy borders. Now this is a combination of using the leaves in the cutting dies as well as the cutouts, and the die cuts are going there. So oh, so pretty that is. Now on the inside of her card, she's gone back to the blue, and here is the paper that she used. Here it is. And you can see that whole variety of blue just right down there. Just really, really pretty. Okay. And again, that paper download is going to make that so simple to make those pieces. Very, very nice. Thank you, Teresa. We'll make sure that everyone gets those. And you saw all the colors, and this is just a nice way for them to play. Now we're going to go into the chipboard. Now, before I show you Teresa's, this is what Debbie did, and this is on the package. And what I love about this is that she used the tri-blend markers. Any markers will work. But then she also, for these pieces, the smile, she did them with white embossing powder. And I think that it's just a really nice, striking way to see how that chipboard can play out. So here's the chipboard. There are those little pieces, and then the smile, and then of course doing her flowers beautifully. Now let me show you Teresa's take on this. Very different look. Isn't that striking? How pretty, boy, to bring that black is just gorgeous. So before we get, well, let's see, let me go ahead and show you that because it's an interesting technique. So Teresa used the waterproof die. This is the Finesse by Spectrum Noir. This is black. And what she did first was to ink up Now she did remove the flower first, but I'm going to leave it here. Okay, so while I do this, and hopefully I won't get it all over my sheet. So I'm just going to bring in that ridiculous envelope and just tap this. And what I want to do is just make it black. Just all I'm doing. So you can tap it, you can rub it, whatever you like. Okay. Whoops. Wrong one, Paulette. Okay, here's the black. Now, she took plastic wrap. Yes, a very unique tool. And she crunched it up. So let me open this up. Come on, let me open you up. There we go. Because I don't want it flat, I want to have it crunchy. Okay, there we go. Now going into the Spectrum Noir Metallic Gold ink pad, and just going to dab, and then dab it on here. That's all you do. And look what happens. That gold is going to go on top of the black, and it's going to give you some shine. Oh, thank you, Houston. Beautiful. And so easy, so easy. So let me put this away and bring you back to the card and show that to you. So that's what she did, just that simple. I think it's really, you do see the black in the artwork, but it's really fun to see that popped out. So she did it onto the flowers, the leaves, also using the smile. Now let's go back to our papers and see what she's used. So here is the all over pattern that she used. And this is on the back of that first sheet that I showed you for the very first card. And she's just trimmed it out. And again, she's allowing the card to be the white mat around that. And then she did cut out of this piece a smaller piece that goes here, but notice she also tore the narrow edge, just one side. So again, the measurements are down below. So that has been glued onto the first sheet, matted onto the blue. In fact, the blue, this is the sheet that she used. So this is the back of this one. So this sheet has blue on the front, but we also have blue in the back side. So that way you can play with them together. So again, cutting those narrower pieces, tearing the bottom edge so that the white shows, then gluing them together, and then putting a ribbon. And again, because she has used black, she's gone into the black ribbon set and tied this with the organdy piece, and then glued that to the front of her card. Again, the card is 5 by 6.5, as is most of our cards. Now, a couple of other things that she's done. The butterfly. Look at the butterfly. Well, this is our brand new butterfly. Comes in 3 sizes, and each of them have a backing, and the backing doesn't stick out. It matches that intricate butterfly. This is a smaller one, and she has die cut it out of our white metallic cardstock. Let me just pull that so you can see. Yes, it is truly metallic cardstock, and simply die cut it. She did just glue the body down, and then she put in the, these are called sepia diamond sparkles from Hunky Dory. You can see it goes from light to black, and so she put the black right there. Put the lighter color one in the middle of her bow, so that worked nicely. On the inside of her card, 2 more of those sheets, same thing, just tore the bottom. More of the flowers, and then she added dazzles. This is our 500 script dazzles. There are 3 different sheets in here, all of them in different colors. This is the gold, just for you, just because. How pretty is that? Really, really nice. Now, I have one more card for you as I'm reaching for it, and here it is. If you saw our brand new fabulous folded dies, this is the latest one. This is the trellis, and let me bring that in. I think it's really fun that Teresa used it so for this whole Windflower collection. Now, as you can see, and you can watch that webisode where we walk through how to put everything together, but of course, instructions are right here with written instructions, but also some artwork right there. And let me show you this. So she did the base out of the solid blue. So you see all of the colors here are from the solid cardstock. You can see how they've all been inked with a variety of ink pads. I don't think I shared those with you. So she used Lagoon on the blue. She used Plum Jam on the purple. The Damson Wine, well, I guess the Plum Jam is on the orchid color. The Damson Wine on the purple, and then Pine Tree on the green leaves. So that works so nicely. And because you are doing the flowers, Teresa elected to die cut her trellis out of white, and you can do 1 or 2 layers, however you like. And then the extra sticky tape, our famous extra sticky tape, you're going to put that on the crossbar, attach it, and then if you want to put some flowers there, you can attach the second one right on top of it to give you a second layer like that. And then this is the end of the box that goes right there. You know, and there's something I forgot to tell you when we did this webisode, is that this trellis is a beautiful piece on its own. You can use that on cards, on pages, on anything. So just want to point that out. Now, the other thing that Teresa has done here is she's used the cutouts to go up here. You are the best, thank you. But then there is our bow die. And here it is. So she has used the large bow to go right there. And she's taken paper to go around, so it's like this whole piece was wrapped. And that's really kind of fun. Now, that is a gorgeous look, don't you think? So just a rich, rich look, and I love all of the colors. Of course, jewel tones are my favorite anyway, but how gorgeous is that? Okay, so to recap, we have the papers, as always, with the Windflower. We're going to start with those. Then we've got this solid cardstock to match. We have the die cuts. We have the 6x6. We have the chipboard. And all of these, if you want, can be purchased with the I Want It All subscription. You get every single thing that we come out. We come out with them once a month. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can add the cutting die, which is the I Really Want It All subscription. Those are available over on the right side of the screen. And by the way, speaking of the right side of the screen, that's where you're going to find the money saver with an extra value for all of these. And by the way, if you want to, if you're a first-time subscriber to a Really Want It All, you will get for free the bow cutting dies. Well, that's a nice deal. Okay, all of this is available. All of it is here. And by the way, this is exclusive for Paper Wishes. You're not going to find it anywhere else. Just some of the benefit that we want to give you for shopping with us. I told you the money savers on the right side of the screen. All of the directions are down below, and you can just click on them. You'll also get the download. If you are watching this on YouTube, I hope you're going to say you like us, and I hope you'll subscribe. In any case, please come over to Paper Wishes, take advantage of that money saver and the download, and you can see all the great goodies we have, all of them here just for you. And I want to thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.